Okay. So, like I said, we're talking about 5 tips, 5 different things you can do to get epic wedding photos. So, like I said, we'll talk about what epic means here in just a second. But if you follow these 5 tips, you should be able to get some epic wedding photos. So, what kind of wedding photos do you want? And not everyone is the same. Some people will really care about certain things and not care about others. I mean, I've had weddings where I spent an hour with just the couple, and I've had weddings where I spent 10 minutes with the couple because that's what they wanted and that's what they cared about. I've spent 45 minutes shooting details, and then other times I've spent 10. So it's important to know what it is you care about. What is it you like? What means the most to you? Because you need to, first of all, when you're hiring a photographer, and we'll talk about that in a minute, that'll be part of the hiring a photographer thing. But also it's just important to make it clear to everyone, this is what I care about. This is what I want captured. This is what is important to me. So in general, these are the general types of photos kind of throughout the day. So details. Details would be anything kind of small, inanimate objects. It could be the dress. It could be shoes, rings. Could be the cakes. Could be the food. Could be stuff on the tables. That's what I'm talking about with details. So capturing all the little things that you've kind of organized, created. Those would be details. Candids, those are the photos that are people interacting, people being real, people not staring at the camera. The little moments that no one may see except for the photographer. Portraits, those in general, I'm talking about like the couple, but it's not, there's other portraits throughout the day. But when I say portraits, I usually mean like photos of just the couple together. And then family photos, that kind of falls into the portrait stuff as well. But I usually ask about those and see how important that is to people. So I would say all that's the norm. That's the basic stuff. If you're hiring a wedding photographer, they better be able to take care of all of those things. Don't hire a wedding photographer that doesn't shoot details. Don't hire a wedding photographer that only shoots candids. Don't hire a wedding photographer that sucks at couple portraits. So if they're a decent photographer, they should be able to handle all of those things. Okay, so that's to be expected. That's the stuff you expect to happen. But do you want something more? Are you looking for something unique, something that doesn't look like everyone else's wedding photos? Something when people are scrolling through Instagram or Facebook or whatever and they see it and they're like, whoa, and it stops them for a minute. And like, I've never seen that before. Something maybe to hang on your wall, some kind of big photo to show off in your house. Okay, that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about epic photos. So something that is beyond what is normal, something that is going to stop people and people are going to say wow when they see it. That's what I'm hoping for. So like this photo of my friend Katie here in her wedding dress dancing around. Very few brides will have a full moon in the background of their wedding photos, or silhouettes or blue or just anything like this. I can't think of another photo I've seen from someone else that's similar to this as far as like just the bride. I don't think I've done one of just the bride like this either. So it's different. And I know it means a lot to them and it means a lot to me to have this photo. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about epic. Okay, so if that is something that interests you, if this is what you're going for, then that's what we're going to be talking about and how to get those epic photos. So in general, 5 tips that are going to kind of help you get this. The first thing we'll be talking about is getting the right photographer for the job, having enough time, having a good idea or plan, focusing on each other, so like the couples, and then, going all in. So we're going to hit each one of those points And each one of those is going to kind of lead up to creating something cool, something unique and different, something that you're going to remember and other people are going to remember as well. All right, so the right photographer. I don't believe there is a photographer that's like perfect for everybody. You know, like I am not perfect for everybody. There are lots of people that I would not be good for. So I don't think there's like one photographer for every, like there's not one photographer that could service every single person, because as we mentioned, people are different. Okay. Not all photographers are the same. They're not all going to line up. So it is important that you find the right photographer for you. And we've talked about this in lots of videos. There's lots of things to look into when you're hiring a wedding photographer. And one of those is, do they deliver the type of photos that you're looking for? Do they have the style that you like? So like for me, I don't edit in what is going to be the current popular editing style. So like right now there's a few different editing styles that are really popular. Like people look orange, or people look green, or people are dark. I don't know. And I've had people come to me and be like, I really like, or is it raining outside? Yuck. Or like the really bright photos. Okay. So that's not my style. I don't jump on the bandwagon as far as editing. I want my photos to look good now and to look good 20 years from now. So if someone was looking for that, I might not be the photographer for them. So you need to find one that creates the photos that you like, these epic photos, and it matches with what you're looking for. So take a look at their portfolio. You know, if you see one epic photo and that's all you see and the rest of them are just pretty normal, then that means they maybe pulled off something cool once, but it's not something they do on a regular basis. So I would ask them about that. Like, okay, I saw this one cool photo. Do you do that all the time? Do you have other examples of really cool photos? What are some photos you're planning on doing in the future? Stuff like that. You know, again, because if the epic portraits, the epic photos are important to you, you want that photographer to be able to do that for you. So find that photographer that's done it in the past, that knows how to do it and plans on doing that on a regular basis. This is also super important. It takes time, guys. Everything takes time. And your wedding schedule is super important. You want to have everything planned so you know that you're going to take care of everything throughout the day. You don't just want to hope that this is going to get taken care of at some point in the day. So create a schedule that says this is going to happen here, this is going to happen here, this is going to happen here. And I've found when I get to do that, when I get to help make that schedule and I'm very involved in the process, things go a lot smoother because I know how much time it takes to do things and I make sure things are happening at a certain time. Okay, so if you are looking to create some epic photos, you need to put it into the schedule. If you just hope that it's going to happen, that's not going to happen. Okay, so set a chunk of time for this. Okay, it really does depend, you know, on certain things how long you're going to need. 30 minutes is usually plenty of time for this, but if you're setting up something crazy, it may be more. So like I did this photo. I should have put that photo in here. I did this photo a month ago today, where the venue had this cool, like, I love you sign. I think it said I love you. Maybe it says I do. It's like a big light up sign in the background, and I wanted to do something different. So I had this smoke machine, and we were like spraying smoke, and then the couple was in the foreground, and the sign was back there. But we kept throwing a breaker when we were trying to plug both things in at the same time. So that took a little while to set up and took a little longer to get going. So it just kind of depends on what you're doing, how long you're going to need for that. But also make sure you're putting this chunk of time at the right time. So a lot of the times I do these epic photos more at night when it's darker. If you're looking for sunset photos, then that would be at a certain time as well. So make sure you're putting this time where it needs to be and you're putting enough time to it. Epic photos don't just happen magically. I mean, I guess sometimes, it's very rare though. Very rarely have I just like, oh, that's something cool, and it just magically happened. Almost always my photos have been planned way in advance, either like a month before or maybe earlier in the wedding day when I saw something cool. But things don't just like happen usually right then and there. You're like, oh, this just magically looked good all of a sudden. Let's just magically do this. So you need to have a plan or an idea before the wedding day. I would talk to your photographer about different options. You also need to take into consideration what you can and can't do at your venue. Find out what fits with the couple and their personality, and also what fits with the backdrop. Because not all photos are going to look the same at certain locations. You want it to fit with what you're doing. And also, I mean, like in this photo, we needed champagne. So that was something we had to plan in advance. Because I've tried to do a champagne photo before, and the couple promised me they would have champagne. And we get there, and it turns out it wasn't champagne. It was like some wine or something. And this doesn't work with wine because it doesn't spray like that. So again, have a plan. Don't just walk into it and be like, well, maybe something cool will happen today. All right. So, most of my photos focus on the couple, these kind of epic photos, because the wedding is about them. It's about their relationship. Most likely this will be printed on their wall. So most of these photos are going to be just the two of them, and they will be the central focus of it. And sometimes some people don't like being the center of attention. And so sometimes I tell people some things to think about, to make them not focus so much on the camera. And so sometimes I might be like, all right, while you guys are sitting there staring at each other or whatever, I want you to, think about the past, where you guys have been. It's usually the end of the day. So like think about today and all the things that have happened, and then think about the future. So that's one little trick sometimes I'll use to get people emotional, and get kind of a reaction out of them, but also to help them stop thinking about the camera. But all this is about them. I want this photo to be about them. I want it to be a memorable moment for them. I want it to be something that they can look back on, and think about themselves and their relationship. So, if you're going to do something, if you're going to try and do something epic, then go for it. Go for it. Do something freaking cool. Don't just like put a minimal effort in there and do something tiny. I mean, if you want epic photos, it's a kind of a gamble, but it's also kind of a, you have to put in the work and effort for it. So try something crazy. Try something different than what you've seen out there. Because again, you want photos that are going to look different. So yes, a sparkler exit I would not consider an epic photo, because everyone does sparkler exit photos. Even to the point now where like the long exposure sparkler photos are so common, I wouldn't really consider that different anymore. So do something different. And also be aware that it may or may not work. I mean, there's nothing guaranteed with photos and you're doing something crazy. I've had that happen before, where I had an idea in my head. I thought it was going to work, and it didn't turn out exactly how I wanted. It's still, they're usually pretty cool photos, but just be aware of that. You can try stuff and it may work or it may not. You still are going to have all those other photos of the rest of the day, but at least you tried something, and maybe you pulled it off, and maybe it's something amazing. So feel free to incorporate something big and fun into it. Like in this engagement photo, this was the last photo. These were the last photos of their engagement session. because, after this they were soaking wet and there wasn't anything they could do. So we actually had them go behind a waterfall and get soaking wet. Funny enough, their wedding was last Saturday and they are awesome. Anyway, so, do something fun, do something crazy. I've got a couple that's going to exit in a helicopter in May. And, hopefully we can pull off something epic with that. I can just imagine all the different things. I recently did some photos with lightsabers, which I'll share eventually. Do things with fireworks, which I've done a lot of recently, and it's been a lot of fun. Like I said, just try something. Do something different. Do something fun. Make it an experience. And, just something different. Anyway, so that's kind of my thoughts on this stuff as far as what I mean by going all in. And, guys, like I said at the beginning, not everyone cares about these photos. Some people care more about the family photos or candid photos. Some people will want to spend more time. They don't want to give up 30 minutes of their wedding. They'd rather just be hanging out on the dance floor. Perfectly fine. Do what you want. Do what you like. But guys, if it is for you, if you do like the thoughts of having something cool, epic, different, unique, follow these steps and it's going to happen. If you've got ideas for things, I would love to hear what you guys are thinking as far as epic photos. Because I'm always looking for something new and interesting to do. All right, let me jump out of this and get back to my face. Where's my face? So, for example, like I said, let me show you my shirt for the day. I've worn this before. So, it's Star Wars characters represented in like the old Queen album photo. If you've seen the Queen, it's like a very well-known photo of Queen. So like I said, I've done stuff with lightsabers before. It's kind of fun. I'm going to be doing that more probably in the future. And then I saw this shirt and I was like, maybe I'll do a groomsman photo similar to this. That would be pretty cool. If you have 4 groomsmen, you could have, and I'd have to think about how I would do it, but you could definitely do that photo. And so like there's stuff all around you. There's all types of things you can think about, fun things to do. But I really like creating something unique and something different and something epic, something that's going to surprise people, wow people, be memorable. Every time you look at it, you're going to get excited, that kind of photo. So hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully you guys are interested in epic photos as much as I am. And you still get all the normal photos, but you just get something different. All right. So as always, guys, if you have a question, if you need help with anything, I am here for you. Life is starting to slow down a little bit for me, so I will definitely be more available to help out. But you guys have a wonderful freaking Tuesday, and I'll talk to you guys later.